What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is our Rise of the Forsaken campaign. This is 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy. I, of course, am Jumbo Thick, your DM, your GM of the night, and I am joined by currently 2 members of the Unfortunate Fellowship, a third to follow as soon as he gets off work. I currently have Mr. Jumbo Smooth and Mr. Pierce Galactic with me. If you care to introduce yourself, boys.
Hello, everyone. I am Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. I am a pugilist, pit fighter, a human. I've got some gray hair. I guess technically I'm in the warrior class now, but I started off as a peasant. I am 27 years old, and I am 5'8" with blue eyes.
Yes. And I'm sure you enjoy long walks on the beach as well.
I do.
He's so attractive.
He is. How about Monsieur Benoit?
Hello, everybody. This is Pierce Galactic. I play the part of Brigadier Benoit, a dapper Rotonian noble, a writer, an artist, a man who is so happy to be headed back home to see his dear family and see his sister off on her new happy life. Or will he?
Or will he indeed? Will he indeed? And of course, Mr. Doobie will be joining us sometime in the middle of the session. So we are going to just pick up without him. So, last we left off, the Unfortunate Fellowship had been set off on a bit of a quest of sorts by Monsieur Benoit, as he has received a summons asking, or more or less demanding, from his mother and his father to attend the wedding of his youngest sister, Emma. There is a grand tournament being held, and he is expected to be there. He was also sent a large stipend of money to assist him.
That Marius spent.
Well, did he now? That he was sent to secure passage to Bretonia, as you are not ridiculously far from your homeland, but a very sizable amount of land to pass through. However, due to a series of unfortunate events, the party found themselves light on coin, as Monsieur Benoit spent a lot of time, quote-unquote, resting in the Silk Canary with many women.
Also research.
And, yeah, of course, yes, research for an upcoming novel, as he will indeed need to be writing another, as Marius Wolf burned it. The entire thing after securing it from Mr. Gold. There's nothing but ashes.
Scoundrel.
And yes, after Seamus, you managed to find him out in the woods. He was in dire straits, not that he would admit it. And you nursed him back to health, had a chat with Mother Inga, and were sent on your way. You returned back to Sealburg, and in so doing, met at your usual haunt, the Silver Thaggy, and managed to find a passage to Bretonia that would be somewhat safe, but very, very much in line with a set of men that have no money and need to travel very, very far away. You secured Marius and Seamus secured a job as part of a caravan guard, as it was, with the dwarves of Carrick Norn, specifically Claric Bronzehammer, who took you on as guards of a sort, and Bragadine, as he kind of came with the pair. And you and this small contingent of dwarves set about finding a secret entrance in the mountains nearby Sealberg that led you deep down beneath and into the dwarven underway. After spending several days down in the dark, harried by foul rat men, skaven creatures, the stress began to get to everyone, and Seamus may or may not have pitched a fit and spilled his beer. But you came to a junction where some of the underway had been destroyed, it looks like. You're not sure how recent or how not recent it was, but the rangers with you, the scouts for the party, found that there was only one entrance that they could find easily, and all of you decided to take said entrance. It was a small passage off to the side that had some grisly-looking totems of sorts on the outside, depicting the tunnels to be the territory of the Big Stabbers. I'm very proud of that name. Regardless.
Oh, I thought it was
good.
Big Choppers.
Big Choppers, damn it. You're right. Oh, I screwed my own name up. I gotta edit that out. I'm probably not going to. But I'm gonna at least make a mental note. The Big Choppers. There we go. The Sneaky Stabbers, though. They're gonna be in on this now. You're gonna have a turf war with you in the middle. Yeah! No. Regardless.
Greenskins and Gobbos.
You made it into the tunnels and found some interesting statues, some fine artwork of a sort. One of them looked exactly like one of your ranger companions. It was very bizarre. All the while you were starting to hearing drums and chanting, and it got a little intense after you ran into a contingent of squig riding goblins. You easily dealt with them much better than I thought you would, I might add, and just carved a bloody path through the pink blobs and their goblin riders. Shortly after that, you came into contact with more Gobbos as they appeared to be chasing you in a very large horde. A challenge was set forth, and you guys rolled surprisingly very well, all three of you, in fact. Then it came down to a choice of to jump over a pit or not, to fight or possibly try to take a different route. And Seamus, being the man in the lead, decided to jump. It was a 10-foot pit, side to side in this tight tunnel. Seamus made it. Marius made it. And, of course, Bragadine made it. Barely, as Marius had to reach down and save him. And it's a good thing. Well, he did. And it's a good thing he did, because as Seamus was grasped and pulled to, a long, disgusting tentacle of some kind began thrashing about below him, which was then supported by many others that began thrashing about due to the noise and the possible meal that almost fell into its gullet. And while Bragadine was lucky, the rest of the Dawi were not so lucky. As one after another, they fell to the foul creature in the depths as they were snatched from the air and taken down. The only one that made it across was one of the last of the rangers that managed to make the leap, just barely. And as Marius pulled him up, the tentacle lashed itself around his leg and ripped the flesh, the meat, the tendons, possibly some of the bone away from his left leg. It is all but gone. There is just bits of matted flesh and blood that are just spilling freely as he screamed out. And as that happened, the last remaining dwarves on the other side looked slightly disheartened. And that's where we're picking up, boys, right there. So, you all just witnessed this creature thrashing about. I will also make note that I'm going to assume one of you has a torch on you, because there are no lights currently in this tunnel.
I do.
Yeah, so we'll say that Bragadine has his torch. So in the dim firelight, you can see the thrashing of the tentacles just bashing the sides of the wall, and there are actually small cracks are forming around the edge where you are currently standing. The dwarf, the one that was wounded in the goblin fight, that was stabbed in the throat, blood dripping over his armor, looks towards the obstacles, the living obstacles between him and you, and just gives out a sigh. And then he turns around and takes his axe off of his hip and begins screaming and running in the opposite direction. What are you guys doing in this moment?
Marius is probably trying to, I guess, still kind of help the dwarf that he grabbed.
Okay.
And pulled up, you know.
Okay. Are you going to be
like,
carrying him?
Well, I figured we're still kind of close to the edge. So I was just kind of like dragging him farther away from the tentacles, you know.
That's probably a good point to make. You begin to drag him further back, and he's heavy. I mean, all dwarves are pretty heavy. He easily probably weighs. He's probably on the high end of 200, almost 300 pounds, despite his size. Just there's a lot of girth on these individuals. As you begin to pull him away, he's screaming the entire time. And he's shouting obscenities in Khazalid that you actually understand due to your dwarven friendship.
Dwarven friendship.
Exactly. And Seamus is currently looking further down the tunnel. Looks like gauging threats.
Marius, his leg. Oh no, I've seen never anything this bad before, but I've seen when a horse falls on the man and they stab with the bone comes out. You were going to have to chop his leg off so we can tourniquet this. And I see. I mean, it's to the bone, right?
There's bone and there's still meat attached to it too, but it's like it's bad. It's real bad.
Okay, I had the impression that was almost like, I don't know, like in a cartoon where you just see like a bone sticking out. All right.
Oh, definitely not.
So it's all right.
Yeah, it's just
Bragadine is white with terror and just like, oh my god, we have to do something about this leg. He must lead us out to here. We will be lost. Marius.
Can I do a medical check on him? Or medicine check?
Are you doing it right here?
Well, if I feel like we're out of danger, yes. If I feel like the tentacles could grab us, or
let's see if Marius feels like he's out of danger. Let's go and roll for it, Marius. Let's roll a cool test. Let's see how you do.
Ooh, it's not very good actually. That's a 93 out of 65.
Okay. We're just gonna roll with that. We can roll again.
Oh. We'll roll again.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Use a fortune. Yeah, it's a lot better. That's a 29 out of 65.
Okay. All right. With that good of a roll, your hand is steady, and you begin to focus on the screaming dwarf. You think you're out of range of any lashing appendages. Seamus glanced back at you. What's taking so long? Hurry up.
My friend's leg, Seamus.
Oh,
Seamus, come and help. We're trying to save the dwarf.
Damn. I'm going to be quiet now. And he's just going to silently look down the tunnel with his. I'm going to say that he's unslung his thunderer at this point and has it at the ready.
Yeah.
Are the Gobbos trying to... Oh, I'm sorry.
Real quick, make a medicine check. A heal test, that is, Marius. And
yes, heal check.
Currently, Bragadine, you can hear shouts and screaming in goblin language, and you hear the bellowing of the lone dwarf screaming out, Kazook! And it's echoing down the halls. Of course, it's being drowned out as you can hear a bloody battle being fought somewhere down the past the pit that you were in. And within moments, I would say within probably a minute or so, suddenly you hear the death rattles of said dwarf. And you hear the laughter, the high-pitched, shrill tones of Gobbos. And they are certainly coming in your direction. What did you roll, Marius?
I rolled a 26 out of 37.
Okay, all right. So with that, Marius, as you're looking over the dwarf's leg, you're not a doctor. You can tell that he's going to need surgery of some kind to be saved. However, you have enough wherewithal to attempt to tourniquet the appendage. So you get a hold of some of the cloth off of his cloak that's just tattered and ruined and peel it off real quick and then make a de facto tourniquet stemming the blood flow. But this dwarf is going to need some kind of professional healer at some point. But you have, however, stabilized his leg for now. He's not in a life-threatening injury, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. If that's the case, I'm probably going to try to get us to get up and go as quickly as we could, you know.
Okay.
Can I assist him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and this
this
dwarf is screaming and thrashing the entire time as you finally pinch it off. Are you just going to just pick him up, Marius?
I was like, come along, friend. I know it's gonna be rough. We have to move. And I'll try to start picking him up. Trying kind of testing out if it's
you
be
pick
more
him up and he's like,
to...
"Oh, Valaire's mercy!" As you stand him up he's trying to hop on one leg, his ruined other leg, kind of dangling at a weird angle down below the tourniquet, dragging on the floor. But he's up for now.
All right. If that's more efficient to move, then I guess that's what we do. If not, I try to put him over my shoulders. I don't know.
Yeah. You throw one of his.
Yes, Marius.
You
carry him like you would carry me. I will guard the rear.
Please carry the full-grown dwarf in a papoose, like you do, like you do, Bragadine.
I forgot about that.
So I'm assuming, he throws his arm over your shoulder, and you kind of get up under him, and you're strong enough. You can help him walk. You are at a slightly slower pace than normal, but
sure.
you're moving.
Yeah.
So you begin moving.
Let's go, Seamus.
Yeah, and Seamus is in front of you, a few paces in front of you.
I'm assuming Seamus must have a torch as well if he's leading. I don't know.
If he's holding the thunder, he doesn't. So Bragadine, you might want to come up front with him.
All right. Seamus, we're moving so slow. Perhaps the powder you got from that Samir. Maybe that will help us go faster.
What powder are you speaking of?
Was it not a powder? The stuff we bought.
Okay. Okay. Seamus doesn't have any of said powder. It was just you and Marius.
Oh, I meant Marius. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Marius. I called you by Seamus's name. You look so alike to me. Neither one of you.
You wanted the powder.
You're the same to me.
You wanted the powder for yourself?
No, for all of us. But you were moving slower than even me carrying this dwarf, and I remember how it made you so strong. It made me not feel so great, but still.
I think I'm good. Maybe.
No.
Maybe later.
I am fine. If you are fine, I will wait till we have women. Okay.
Do you wish to partake in the white china? Or are we continuing forward?
Marius continues without any white china.
Okay, all right. How about
Columbia marching powder?
Yeah, some Colombian marching powder. Indeed.
Blanca.
How about we have Mr. McGreedy. He's just joined us.
Yo.
Super quiet right now. He's quiet.
It's because he's being quiet.
That's exactly what it is. Is he here?
I'm here.
He's here.
Are you here?
I am. Indeed, I am. So, Seamus, since you are present now,
Yes.
I had to Jaeger you for a minute. It was horrible. So, as we were continuing down, you're currently leading the pack, the individuals, including these now bandaged up dwarf, and Mr. Bonneau has decided to suggest everyone partake in some white powder to speed up the journey, as it was.
Oh yes.
Seamus doesn't know about this white powder, does he?
He does not. It was never explained to him. He wasn't
Here,
there.
Seamus, let me show you.
He was dying in
Marius.
the woods at the time.
Hand me the bottle.
No. Let's go, Vanilla. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, well, Seamus has no torch. Let me get in the lead so we can at least see where we are going.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Go ahead and Seamus, go ahead and give me a perception test. It'll be just a straight test because you have a torch by you now.
It is a 48 out of 51.
40. Okay, that's a success. So that's not bad.
It is.
All right, so you begin moving, and it's at this point that the dwarf, who no one's asked his name yet, the dwarven ranger, as you are moving through these tunnels, begins to pipe up between like cries of pain as his foot clips a rock and everything else. As these tunnels are not dwarven made, these are like small, not sophisticated tunnels that were dug through the earth. And he quickly shouts up ahead to you, Seamus, and you can hear the telltale signs of pursuers from your rear. You're not sure how they got past the pit, but with as much ground as you covered, they definitely have. And Rory, the ranger, the dwarf, shouts ahead to you, Seamus. First left!
All right, first left.
All right.
Take the first left I see.
All right, and you're starting to see the tunnels are starting to honeycomb again, like they were before, and you immediately see a tunnel to your left, and you take that left turn. As you take the turn, you glance to your right, Seamus, down further ahead. If you would have kept going straight, and about 10 feet past where you took this turn, there's a suspicious-looking looks like some kind of collection of rags and cloth on the ground. It just doesn't look right, but in the moment you're moving quickly, you see it, and then you keep going down this tunnel. How quick are we going to be moving at this point, Marius? You're starting to hear more shouting and more calling, and you can actually hear the chink, chink of large weapons being scraped against the cavern walls.
Probably as quickly as I could with the dwarf in tow.
Go ahead and give me strength check, Marius.
All right. That is a 5 out of 60.
At some point, after you make this turn, Seamus, down the tunnel, suddenly Marius just kind of, after hearing all these things behind him, just immediately grabs a hold of the dwarf on his hip and just kind of lifts him up even higher, and the dwarf's feet kind of and it kind of dangling off the ground, and Marius begins sprinting past you. Just moving at a very quick pace, I might add.
Hold on. Marius.
Cannonball.
Davis.
Yes, he just begins moving extremely quickly. At this point, you're probably side by side with Seamus, Marius, and you have an easy time seeing in the dark. And Rory begins to, as you're moving down this hall, with that really good check that you just made, he's, not there, here. No. As you've come to a few more honeycombed junctions, and he's there, and he points further ahead at a tunnel. There are 4 tunnels to choose from. There's the one he pointed at, and there's 3 more. The one on your left looks like a scrap of paper dangling from the ceiling. You're not sure what's on it. The one directly ahead is the one he pointed at, and it looks like there's a de facto, almost like a similar cloth to what you saw on the ground, Seamus, dangling, almost covering it, and it's swaying lightly in the wind. And then the 2 other ones are open. However, you do see one is larger than the other, and the larger one has what looks like drag marks, like large amounts of foot traffic come through it on the ground, whereas the other one doesn't appear to be as well traveled. Which path are we choosing, boys?
Which one did he point out?
He pointed out the one that had the fabric kind of dangling from the ceiling, obscuring most of the hole, in fact. That would be this smaller tunnel.
Well, if you pointed out that one, I'm probably inclined to go that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm not the one that lives underground.
Go ahead, and I'll say that, how about we do this?
Or outdoor survival?
Yeah. How about we have Mr. Bonneau?
Oh, yes.
Since, he's the only one who hasn't made a check yet. How about Mr. Bonneau? I'll let you roll me a perception or an intuition.
Ooh, okay.
You pick.
And this is to go through the...
this is going to determine which tunnel you should
strange
not take.
cloth over the...
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. So, perception or intuition. Intuition, just straight intuition. So, perception's actually going to give me a little bonus on that. All right. 5. So, 5 out of 56? 5 out of 56. And that's a sight perception, not an audio.
So, with your hearing, because that's a insane a number.
Oh, that's
it's like 7
That's
degrees
8 levels of success.
8 levels of success. So with your heightened sense of hearing, as you hear the dwarf call out and point towards there, Bragadine, you notice, you see the 4 tunnels I described. However, with your heightened sense of hearing, you're hearing the goblins getting closer and closer. And you have just enough time to see down past you that there is a set of little yellow eyes that are beginning to plop, plop, plop form as multiple short figures are beginning to come into the passage behind you. But out of the large tunnel to your right, you hear thuds moving in your direction, large feet. The tunnel to the left that has the piece of paper dangling on it, in this very quick moment, with your ridiculous amount of success levels, you hear a gurgling noise, and it's very, very concerning. Which leads you to the direction that the dwarf pointed out, and you hear a of wind that is moving that cloth, as if there's air.
I run through that way.
Okay, so immediately Bragadine is like, this way, and you all head in that direction. Seamus, I'm assuming you're still kind of somewhat in the lead a little bit, though Marius is getting pretty close. You push through the cloth, and as you do, within about 5
They're right behind us, boys.
Yeah, within about 5 feet, you're at a dead end. It stops. There's nothing. It's just a stone wall. Yeah, and Bragadine's. You heard something. You heard something.
I'm pushing on the wall itself. No, I heard the wind or something. No, there must be a way out there.
Yeah, you begin pushing on the wall, and it's at this point that I need Marius to go ahead and give me an intuition test, and it will be with a plus 20.
All right. That is a 46 out of 60.
Okay, good. So Marius, I mean, you're at home in the tunnels, in the dark places, as it was, and the dwarf next to you is beginning to pale. You're moving, and this is a struggle for a man that has been grievously wounded as himself, and he's starting to lose his speech. So he's having a hard time conveying what he needs you to do. But you notice something, Marius, as you're glancing over the wall. You notice a very small, it looks almost like a dwarven rune, but not many people would recognize it because it is stylized in such a way that it looks like just natural cracks in the wall itself. But you see it. And as you do, you press your hand to it, and it moves inward. And as it does, a small, very small, round hole kind of opens up and in. And
by the lady, Marius, you've done it.
It appears that this is where the sound of air is coming from.
Everyone in?
I jump ahead.
Okay, you jump
Newt
ahead.
in the movie Aliens. Yeah.
Yes,
I
just
want to go out there.
Bragadine immediately goes to jump
right
in.
behind us.
I'm going to
right
need,
way.
I'm going to need athletics tests from everyone, including your dwarven friend that I'm going to roll for. So let's see how this goes.
Oh. Good God.
So Bragadine, what'd you get?
8.
Okay, good. So
8
Bragadine actually does, in fact, just kind of almost swan dives into this hole and doesn't get jammed, doesn't get stuck. He just begins, and it's
doesn't smack his head.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Bragadine. This is a hole, and you are literally having to crawl through it because it doesn't just open up into a room. You have about 10 feet of small, cramped tunnel to crawl your way through, and you're. But due to your smaller stature, and of course, your panicked demeanor currently, you're able to easily shimmy on through and make it to the other side. Seamus, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9.
What the mother?
Nice.
Okay, so
Good roll.
similarly,
Good roll.
despite your much taller build, Seamus, and your arsenal of weaponry that easily could have gotten caught on something, you take the Thunderer and put it in front of you, and you're kind of pushing it as you are shimmying your way down this small hole. And you're and after a few moments, you make it to the other side. How about Marius Wolf? How did you do?
23 out of 36.
Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. Okay, believe it or not, Marius, the ranger, your dwarven friend, Rory, as you don't know his name, but I do.
Don't know his name. Yeah.
Yeah, he as you open it up, he
Crit failed.
breaks loose from you, Marius, hits onto his stomach, prone, and begins to commando crawl at an aggressive pace. Even with his one leg dangling, just smacking, he's like, "Argh!" And he's just like grimacing as he does, but he ridiculously quickly begins shimmering down the hole. And then Marius, after seeing that, you are soon to follow. However, Marius, as you duck down into the hole, you can hear the telltale chatter of greenskins. This way, yes, it's him. Ah, no, this way, you fool. And then you hear, shoot, and blood begins to from underneath the fabric begins to pool on the earth beneath you.
Oh.
You quickly duck down, I'm assuming, unless you want to stay and fight the goblin horde. It's up to you.
No, I'm going down. I'm going down.
I'm assuming, you drop down.
Do I have any sense of what caused them to bleed?
You do well. Do you want to stand there and make me a perception test, or do you want to leave?
No, I was just curious.
All right. No. It's you're behind this fabric, so and the torch is left at this point. The goblins don't need anything to see. You know that, Marius, that the greenskins have heightened eyes as it was. So you duck down and you begin shimmying after your dwarven friend. And after a few moments, all of you make it. In fact, the dwarf, as he stands up, block it, quickly.
I'm looking for anyone to block it. Yeah.
I'm looking around for. What do we block? Is there stones? Is there?
Let's
timber?
see here. Let's have somebody give me an outdoor survival check. I guess it makes sense for Marius to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, not me. Trust me.
That's a 19 out of 51.
Okay, Marius. Yeah, you begin glancing around, and you don't see much in this. It's almost like a cramped room that you're in. It's almost like a 10 by 10 room, and there's some crap in here. It looks like shelving and things like that. And you're looking at it, and the shelves are made of stone, and they're carved from the very rock itself. They're not going to move. You've been glancing around. You see like a barrel, but it looks rotted and matted. And then you just say to Sigmar with it, and grab a hold of your pick, and you boom right above the hole to the tunnel, and a big section of the rock splinters and cracks and falls, blocking the entrance.
Yeah.
The three of you, as the
Hopefully that
dust
will do.
begins... Excuse me?
I said, hopefully that will do.
Oh, yes, indeed. I hope it will. As the dust begins to settle, the torch very flickering back and forth.
Oh.
You glance around this room, and it is, in fact, almost like a storeroom. But it's not very well stocked, apparently. There's not much here. It looks like it hasn't been in use for quite some time. And it's strange that it's off of Goblin Tunnels, Marius, because you could tell that the previous craftsmanship was not Dwarven, but this definitely is. The ranger he kind of pulls himself against one of the walls, and he's... Oh, we've got to get out of here. Blast this leg. You there. And he points over at you, Seamus. There. Mm-hmm. You see that alcove? Break it loose. And there's like an alcove in some of the shelving. Looks solid. Looks like it's all made of stone.
Oh. Break it loose with what? You want me to shoot it?
Nah, man. Use your hands, manling.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. You approach the stone that he was looking at, this alcove, and as soon as your hands as soon as you touch it, it gives way, just, and then falls backwards. And you reach inside, and there is a bundle. You grab the bundle, you take the bundle out, and you open it, and there is an assortment of, it looks, from what you can tell, some kind of medical equipment. It looks very strange and unnatural, though. You're not exactly sure how some of these things work. As a matter of fact, none of you would, because you have no experience with this kind of stuff. Hurry, bring it here while I'm still awake.
All right, I bring it over to him.
You bring it over to him, and he begins taking implements out of the bundle. There's a bottle of some kind, and he immediately begins chugging it. And it's just dripping down his beard, and he throws it to the side. And he's glancing at the three of you, and let's see who he picks. I mean, that was a no-brainer. He looks to you, Marius. Here. And he hands you what we know of as a bone saw, Marius.
Oh boy.
Shit.
You're going to have to take it. I won't make it much longer. After it's removed, pour this on there. And he points at a second kind of makeshift jug.
Okay. I kind of I'll grab the saw and kind of see if there's a place. All right, lay down somewhere.
All right, and his back's up against the wall, so he's kind of sitting flat. Do you want him to lay flat? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm assuming, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine trying to cut off a leg standing up.
Well, he's not standing up. Like he's sitting on the ground. Yeah.
Oh, okay. If his legs, I guess.
His legs just flat against the ground. Yeah, he's just leaning against the wall. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna here, Master Dwarf, and I will hand him a strip of leather to bite onto because I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And
and go ahead.
I will stay here. I have you, my friend.
All right. He snatches it out of your
Hold
hand.
his hand, basically. Yeah.
And he bites it. He's not going to hold your hand, but he's going to bite it, though. He's, do it! I need you to make me another heal test, Marius.
Ooh, all right. That's a 29 out of 37.
That's just a success, not even a degree of success.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Can I, with my healing skill, can I like guide him?
You know what? With the both of you there, I'll give you a +10. Since he says, yeah, you can aid Seamus, since you also have it. So that'll give you a +10. So that it will give you 1 degree of success.
Yeah.
I mean, you've never amputated a limb before, Marius. It's a little terrifying. You pick a spot where you think you hope this is good, and you begin to, and the dwarf just, as you begin carving into his leg, and you're sawing back and forth, and it becomes a horror show very quickly, Beno, as there's blood just squirting off despite the tourniquet.
Faster, Marius,
held in place. Faster. Yes, indeed.
He's dying. You're killing him faster.
Yes, you just keep, and then after a moment, the leg, and there's just a few tendons holding it, Marius, and you kind of just saw at it, and it rips free the remnants of what was his leg, and the dwarf is unconscious at this point. He's just slack. There's a lot of blood coming out of this stump now. Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
Trying to
quick, Marius.
tourniquet.
He said pour the stuff.
I pour the stuff on it, then tourniquet.
Okay, yeah. The tourniquet is still on, but
okay.
It's obviously not holding completely. You have the unfortunate pleasure of being with somebody that knows how this stuff works. So, so you take the jar of stuff, whatever it is, and who's going to be pouring it?
Assuming I would.
Yeah, I thought he gave it to Marius. If not, I
Yeah, he gave it to Marius.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Marius, then you uncork it, and this caustic smell begins flooding the room. It smells bitter, and it doesn't smell pleasant. It's a chemical smell. And you begin to douse the stump, and as soon as it touches the flesh, it begins to bubble and blister as it sizzles, and in a short term, the smell of cooked dwarf is in the air as the wound is chemically burned. Shut. Yes. And it is a smoking, hulking wreck of what used to be a dwarven leg.
That was amazing, Marius. In Bretonia, we use a torch.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But Rory has been saved. Congratulations. I didn't think you would save him. He's currently unconscious, but it looks like he's stabilized for now.
We're in an enclosed room, right?
You're in an enclosed room. However, Marius,
okay,
with your previous intuition test, you would know that you sensed that there was air movement into here. There's obviously a way out. Now, for the sake of brevity here, you're eventually going to find it. This isn't exactly a sprawling room by any means. But one of the back walls, you begin to feel around, and all three of you at this point are kind of feeling around. You kind of know the shtick here. You've spent enough time in dwarven construction at this point, all of you, to know that there's a way out if Marius is looking. And eventually you do find it looks like a cleverly hidden switch of a kind, or it's more like a pull lever, and you grasp a hold of it and pull it down, and then a section of the wall slides up, and there is a much more well-traveled tunnel ahead of you from left to right. Large. But yeah, that's all you pretty much see right now.
Let's see.
Can only Marius see it, or can we all see it?
If you have a torch lit, you can all see.
I have a torch lit.
Okay, you still have a torch lit. All right. Then yes, all of you can see out. It's large, as in it's probably 20, 30 feet wide. Only maybe 10, 11 feet tall though. And it is not. It's still a crude construction of sorts. It's not dwarven, essentially. But it is a tunnel, and it's a way.
Okay. It's not dwarven. Okay.
You know, I never once was in a tunnel until I met you guys, and now that seems all we do is go into tunnels.
It's very true. Very true. How's Rory looking?
He's unconscious, but he's looking stable.
Is it about time for a rest? Or
I'm about to say, you guys you have the option if you want to attempt to rest here, or if you would like to move on. It's up to you. There can be risks and or rewards either way.
Yeah. We don't know where we're going.
If it breaks through where the wall fell, I'm scared.
Well, I don't feel great about it either, but I'm not sure which way to go. You said it's not dwarven, right? So it's just like...
It's not dwarven. However, Marius, did you pick up, please tell me you picked up, secret signs, minor?
Yeah, I have secret signs, minor.
Okay. Marius, thank God you picked it up, is all I can say. You can tell that this tunnel is not dwarven made. However, this experience has been sort of strange because you were just in like a finely well done dwarven room that's on the sides of these what appear to be goblin tunnels. After seeing that Rory knew about this place, you can probably make the assumption, Marius, that this must be a route that is traveled often by the Dawi, and that this room was specifically made as probably a stop-off point if anything were to happen. Now, most of the supplies have been drained, and as a matter of fact, there's almost nothing here of use. But in so doing that, you know that there must be a way to tell where you're at, to use this as a waypoint to find the path. And you see, cleverly hidden once again, on the far side of this, or actually below you, excuse me, it's on the floor itself. Chiseled into the floor are what looks like several Dawi runes that you would recognize. You can't necessarily read them, but you at least recognize what they mean. And
okay,
you see a cluster of them, and they're very small, almost easily looked over, essentially, by most people. And essentially what it's saying is that if you go to the right, it will take you deeper into the underway. And if you go to the left, it will take you in the direction of Carrick Norn.
What's this? I kind of look over the ruins. We might have a way out of here, fellas. Believe this way is to Carrick Norn. That's much more preferable to deeper into the underway. let's go. I'm gonna pick up our dwarf friend.
Okay. You go to pick him up. Do you want to attempt to wake him up, or are you just going to try to carry him?
I'm just gonna try to carry him.
Okay. All right. No check needed. You're plenty strong enough. You hoist him up. Are you just going to be carrying him like on your back, or how are you doing this? Over the shoulder?
Whichever way is easiest. And
he's bulky.
To him, you know?
He's bulky, but over the shoulder probably your best bet. And we might be making an endurance chest depending on how far you go.
Yeah.
But you hoist him up, and we're not resting, is what I'm hearing here. We're just gonna keep getting out of here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you
It's not
begin.
safe.
Yeah, and it is true as you begin to move. You are still hearing the chittering and the cackles of goblins, and who knows what else, as you begin moving down the tunnel that Marius has directed you towards. A few hours pass down this tunnel, and it is just going in one direction. There's no offshoots. You do see, however, odd effigies every once in a while. They look identical to the ones that you encountered when you entered these honeycombed tunnels that led to the demise of your dwarven compatriots. You recognize them as the totems of the big choppas. You also see remnants of dead things, mostly goblins, and odd skeletons that you don't quite recognize. At some point, you would have seen a large spider that may have triggered some PTSD in all of you at some point, specifically Brackadine. But turns out it wasn't that big. It was probably just the size of a basketball. Terrifying to the normal person, but yes,
twice my size.
Skitters away. Yeah. And after a few hours, Bragadine, you hear it first. You hear the drip, drip, drip of water up ahead. And it sounds echoing and vast. And the three of you begin approaching what looks like an opening towards the end of this tunnel. It's like, thank God, finally. And as you get closer, you notice there's like a figure at the entrance of the tunnel. Seamus, are you in the lead?
I don't think I would be, since Marius is.
I thought I was actually.
Okay, so Bragadine then. If you're leading Bragadine with the torch, you would see, Bragadine, that there is a figure up ahead. As you begin to move closer, are you going to try to dim the torch, or are we just going to approach?
Sure. I don't want to
the figure is probably at this distance. You can barely see it in the torchlight, so probably 100 feet away.
I'll try to hide it behind my shield, dim it as much as possible.
Okay. As soon as you hide the light, you can't see.
Marius,
you can't see that far out. So
there was someone ahead of us.
Can I see them?
Yeah, when he dims it, especially with your heightened vision in the dark, you see a figure. They don't appear to be moving, Marius. It's definitely like a humanoid shape.
Yeah.
Is it a dwarf? Is it a gobble?
Is it a small creature or large?
It's
or
pretty
medium,
big.
sorry.
It's actually fairly large. About the size of a large person, maybe bigger. It's hard to tell from this distance.
All right, and it didn't move or anything when it saw us, right?
It's not moving. Whatever it is, it's not moving.
I'm not sure what it is. I don't think we have much of a choice, though.
I'll lift the torch back out so I can see.
Okay. You take a few steps forward, all of you very tentatively. And after a few moments, Bragadine, you notice that the figure is the color of like ashen stone. And you're, it's a statue. It's right here at the entrance to this tunnel. It's very strange.
Like a guardian almost.
Exactly. You all three of
Hey,
you.
Miss Marius, did you see this?
You're approaching it, and the statue is in abject horror. And it looks like it is running in your direction, but it's frozen in mid-run. And it is definitely a massive humanoid. It has large tusks jutting out from its bottom jaw. And the three of you would recognize this as an orc. It's between its tattered clothing and the rather large weapons that are just all completely made of stone right now.
If I don't already have it unslung, and I'm unslinging my big gun.
Okay, unsling the big gun. The Thunderer is ready to go.
The last time we saw these statues, it was our dwarf friends.
Indeed you did.
I've never seen a greenskin look so feared. Look at his face.
This is the way we're going, Marius.
This is the way of the character one. Do we see anything past this statue?
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you get this close, you can see this is the end of the tunnel, and it opens up into a vast cavern that is oddly familiar, as it has all the opulence and the ruin of the major tunnel of the underway. You are back. You have cleared whatever obstruction was in the way, and you are back on track. This is the massive cavern, the sprawling cavern.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Marius is. Check Master Dwarf. See if he knows which direction to head in.
I'll try to see if I can wake him up at all. I don't know how long time's passed or whatever.
Do you walk out into this opening, like out into the underway, or are you in the tunnel still next to the statue?
Probably maybe a step out into the.
Okay, you take a step
larger.
out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You glance to your right, Marius, and some of the light that filters up from above is illuminating parts of this tunnel still, like you were used to before. You're not sure how it works. It's very strange. You never asked. But somehow, some way, there is light that's being shed from the ceiling, the very high points in the ceiling. And you can tell that there's water running nearby because you can hear it. You can hear the drip, drip, drip of water. You look to your right and you notice that most of the underway to your right, after a few hundred yards, is in ruins and looks like it's been caved in. That's more than likely the point that you took off from. Somehow you've circumvented a large stretch of this tunnel. And it looks like there are drips of water that are cascading down this side. And a small river is being formed and funneling off down one of the offshoot tunnels down towards that end. But you can hear the water and smell it even. You look to your left and you just have infinite tunnel as far as you can see, which is not as far as probably a dwarf. But regardless, you feel that might be the direction you were heading to begin with. You set the dwarf down. You set Rory down and begin to give him a couple little taps across the side of the cheek, and he glances around. And it's at this point that you notice Marius. Now, Seamus and Bragadine, are you standing out in the tunnel with Marius?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And you would notice that there are crude paintings on the walls around here, around on this side of the underway specifically. They all look similar to the effigies you saw earlier, depicting the almost like the turf markers of the big choppas. The Rory kind of slightly opens, his eyes flitter open, and he kind of glances around. He looks at you, Marius. Well, Manling, you've done right by me. You've done right by Cleric, despite your... And he looks at Seamus. Tempers. It appears we're back on track. Here, help me up. He holds his hand up for you, Marius.
Okay, I'll help him up.
You help him up. He's literally on one leg at this point, and he steadies himself on you. You see there, and he points further down. We go 2 days this direction, and then the underway will split in twain. To the right will take you to Carricknorn. To the left will take you further on towards your destination. I will see you as far as I can, but I will need help if I am to bring news of Cleric. And a little tear slips from his eyes.
We will take you to Carricknorn. I'm sorry, my friend. What is your name?
Rory. Rory
Nice to meet you,
Gunderson.
Rory.
Well, no point crying on what's happened in the past. Let's be off. I'm going to need some help, Madeline. Perhaps you can fashion me some kind of stick or something.
If I can, I'll do so. I don't know if there's so much left.
I mean, there's debris and all kinds of shit. What you do find nearby is you find like a broken piece of an axe. Of like a flat-headed axe. The axe is still on the bottom of it, but the wood itself looks pretty damn sturdy. And you kind of size up the dwarf. I mean, that could work. And you kind of give it to him, and he puts the flat underneath his arm, and he's using this basically as like a crutch. I should have mentioned, it's like a large, like two-handed axe. And he puts it up under his arm, and he begins to use it as a crutch to help him walk. And he's walking at a slow pace, but you guys are moving.
Does he see the statue of the orc?
You didn't point it out to him.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if we're starting to walk, I would.
Okay, yeah, he's beginning to move.
That statue.
Okay,
yeah.
And it's back in the tunnel, but you kind of mentioned to him about a statue, and he's like, strange. There shouldn't have been no statue. Groby don't carve nothing, Manling.
It was very strange, Mr. Roy. It was like he was afraid to death. Very odd statue.
An orc scared must have seen the Dawi coming for him. As he gives this
Why
chuckle...
would the orcs make a statue? Yeah.
Yeah, I need everyone to give me perception tests.
Oh boy. Oh, what are the chances? I rolled another 48.
All right.
Oh, gee.
How about Bragandine?
All right, we got. Oh shit. I'm gonna use a fortune point. Oh, much better. All right, got 21 out of the 56 for 86 if I'm using my hearing.
Yes. And okay, good. And Marius?
39 out of 57.
Okay. All right. So it's not hard for you guys to hear as Rory's kind of bellowing laughter out. It begins to echo down the massive underway caverns, and then he immediately stops, and his eyes go wide, and all of you hear the footfalls of multiple feet, lots of feet. You begin looking around, and it doesn't take long for you to realize that there are things beginning to converge on your location.
Oh,
Marius, Seamus, we need to move. We need to go.
Ooh, I
You hear
agree.
that?
I agree. I'm gonna pick up Rory and we're gonna move.
Okay. Are we
Use the damn powder now. Let's
Are we
move.
running? Are we
Where is it
hiding? Or are
coming?
we?
Where's it coming from?
It's hard
In front
to
of us, behind
tell.
us?
It's because of the echo of the cavern. Even with the massive successes of Mr. Beno. And well, matter of fact, because Beno had so many success levels, I'll give you this. The echo is coming from around you, and you're not sure where it's coming from. But, Bragadine, you would notice also that you're hearing grunts and bellows of large, throaty voices. And you're hearing a bit of a chant as well, Bragadine. It's very soft almost because you have a feeling it's probably far away. It's just the sound is carrying so far. You're hearing zook, 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 big sticker, zook, zook. And it's the chanting like that, coming from down the underway at some point. So yes, you're not sure how far away it is, but it is a fair distance away, in your opinion, Bragadine.
Is it? Do I have a basic idea of the direction?
You would not exactly. There's many offshoot tunnels, and some of them are large.
All right.
So it's hard to tell.
I can hear more of them. It's zoot, zoot, zook. Can you not hear that? It's very faint, but it's a deep voice, and it is chanting. It sounds like multiple voices. It's far, but I don't know what to do. Do you not hear that?
I assume I don't hear it.
I just hear the thundering of feet.
Yeah,
Unless
the
guys
rest
wanna
of you just kind of hear just the thundering of like the movement of bodies, large bodies.
I think it is, I don't know, maybe it was the greenskins or something like that. But we must hide or run or something. They are on the way.
Yeah.
So running or hiding
I'm thinking-
is the question.
I don't know how well we're gonna be able to hide.
Okay.
So I would say
running
probably run. Yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming we're running in the directions that you were given earlier, so just down the massive tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I need everyone to give me athletics tests, please. Now, are you are carrying Rory, correct?
I am.
You will have to make your test at a -10.
That will be a 12 out of 26.
Ooh, lucky. Okay, how about Seamus?
I burned a fortune point, and I rolled a 6 out of 30, or out of 46.
Okay, all right. Very, very good. How about Brigadine?
I rolled a 48 out of 33, and I'm thinking about a fortune point here.
Oh, it's up to you.
All right, let's do it. Oh my god, even worse. 75 out of 33.
Yes. The three of you begin to move at a quickened pace. And Marius, you have Rory kind of hunched up over your shoulder at this point, and you've got him picked up, and he's like, oh, put me down, but you're taking off running. All of you are moving very quickly, and 20 minutes pass, and the sound's getting louder and louder. You still can't tell where it's coming from. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. And Brigadine, in your panic, you trip at the top of one of these shattered statues, one of these great these great statues of the ancestor gods that used to line the walls of these tunnels, and it's shattered down below. You trip and you stumble down to the bottom of it. You don't take any wounds or anything of the sort, but you skid to a halt, and in so doing, the rest of you hear Brigadine fall. Do you stop or do you continue?
I guess I'd probably stop and look back. I'd probably see Marius behind me.
Just look. Do you just look back, Seamus?
Yeah.
Okay. Marius, you would hear this as well. Seamus stops and looks back, so giving you time to look back, and you see that Brigadine has not only he's been falling behind slowly but surely, but he has also literally fallen down and is currently at the bottom of some rubble. And as he's picking himself up, let's see. Ping! A black arrow bounces off a rock near your head, Brigadine. And you begin glancing around, and you see little beady yellow eyes coming out of the darkness of some of the tunnels nearby. And I'm going to need all of you to give me dodge tests as you begin running, and a volley of arrows are shot in your direction.
Oh, no.
I don't do too many of these.
Alright, we can use that last fortune point.
Seamus got a 32 out of 37.
Oh, okay. And how about Marius?
Marius rolled a 9 out of 41.
Okay, I was going to give you a penalty for holding Rory, but that's good. And Brigadine.
I got a 33 out of 33.
Oh, okay. Good.
No more fortune points, but yeah, we sure did.
Okay. All right. So Brigadine, after the arrow skids, you pop up, and all three of you begin moving, running faster, and volleys of arrows are just haphazardly shot in your direction. There's no rhyme or reason. They probably do better if they just shot in a literal volley instead of just off on their own. But these, you hear the no, fool, people getting slapped and all kinds of weird things happening. As these arrows thunder past you, all of you nimbly dodging them. However, Brigadine, it's almost like the Matrix. He's moving, and as he's twisting, arrows are just passing by him. It's unnatural. And you cover more ground, and you manage to get out of whatever it was that you were in, this piece of the tunnel. However, the next part of the tunnel as you come to the crescendo, as you are scampering up the remnants of yet another dwarven statue. You come to the top, and you see the foul goblin creatures in their long black hoods behind you, Bragadine, as you look back. And they are skittering up the hill towards you as fast as they can, but you are easily outpacing them. The three of you look down, and towards the bottom, you see a collection of ramshackle tents that litter the underway here. They are pieced together with hide, and it looks like there is a massive bonfire in the center.
Does it look like a village or an encampment, basically?
It looks like some kind of encampment.
Oh boy. Does it smell like shit?
It smells really
I
bad.
bet it does.
The smell is horrendous, and as you cover your nose, the chittering goblins behind you, you see figures emerging from the tents and looking up at you. Large, muscular green figures in tattered loincloths and an amalgamation of armor that has been hammered onto their bodies. Each of them with a obscenely large, looks like some kind of cleaver that looks big in their hands, which means it must be massive. They begin to look up at you as their tusks wag back and forth, odd piercings inside of the bone. They look up at you, and one by one, they all begin to make eye contact with you. And you're looking at about 20 orcs down here at the bottom.
Fuck.
And they all just see, they see the four of you. And then you hear, "Wah!" And that's where we're going to take our first break, guys.